Hi guys, welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you guys.
First of all, thank you all for being here as well. My name is Rachel Harris. I'm the adult programming coordinator. Kathryn Kauffman. Miss Kathryn Kauffman, all the way from Lexington, joining us here tonight.
You guys, my name is Kathryn Kauffman, and I'm a psychic medium here in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome to my every Monday night show. This is where we discover what and who we are in this journey called life. So tonight's episode is going to be about remote viewing. And if you have any questions about remote viewing, please put those in the comments. I will try my best to watch the comments section and see where you're at with those questions. Shout out to Barbara Bacon, and special shout out to Crystal Crazy, Barbara Bacon's shop. And here is a contact number in case you need it, because we're definitely going to talk about a few measures that you can do crystal and gemstone wise to augment communication or viewing, this remote viewing. Let's shout out to some people over here on Instagram. Hey, boy, good to see you. Happy Monday, everybody. Even though it's storming and I'm just now hearing the thunder. Hayden in Mongahan. I hope I said that right. And Caitlin. On this Instagram screen, the words are so small, it's hard to see you guys, but I'm so glad you're here with us. Shout out to Melissa Begley. Big kisses to you and Miss Cleo. And shout out to Patricia Sullivan Phillips and Angie Lawson. Thanks for joining me on a Monday night, a rainy, depressing Monday. I am going to plug in a different microphone. Please let me know if you can still hear me okay. I need kind of a sound check here for you guys. And hopefully that will, what I just plugged in will improve the sound a little bit. So I will be watching the comments to see if you guys can hear me okay. Let's go over a little bit of housekeeping. If you like the Monday night shows, I ask you to go ahead and hit the share button on your screen and share this out in your news feed. One of the ways that you can help us out here on the show is to share it with people and have them follow, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, give the show a like on your Facebook page and the YouTube channel. And also follow me on Facebook is a nice way to help the show. Hey to Ina Thompson and Paige Denise and Angela Adkins. Thanks for joining me. So, okay, so what I plugged in is actually working here. Thank goodness. So, some new stuff that's coming up. There's a couple of things I wanted to tell you guys about. The first thing is that the Advanced Psychic Protection webinar is going to be released the first week of June. So you need to really watch the Instagram and the Facebook pages for the release of that webinar. And it's going to be, I've got gnats in here. Oh, it's going to be the same as the gemstone webinars in that it's going to be a Zoom link. It's going to be a little bit more expensive than the gemstone seminars because there's a lot more work that's going into this one. And you will get a downloadable PDF and access to the online webinar where you get to ask questions and interact. And you'll get a copy of the link to the video for that. Hey to Peggy Thompson and Mitzi Tribble. Good to see you guys. So that's going to be released the first week in June. The second thing I wanted to announce is I will be resuming in-person readings on June the 22nd. But up to that point, it's just still going to be phone and video call. Now, the reason why I'm presenting the subject that I am tonight of remote viewing is it's one of the reading options that I list on my website because this is the technique that we use for lost or stolen items, is remote viewing. Now, I kind of learned it innately a different way than they teach in a lot of courses and stuff, but my theory on this is I would take several different techniques and put together the way that works for you best. But you need ideas to start with, and you need some kind of place to start with. So there's a bunch of courses on Udemy to learn remote viewing, and there's another way to learn it as well with the Silva Mind Technique, which is on Audible. And so there's a lot of different ways that you can learn this. Let me check the feed here. Shout out to Ricky Elkins. Good to see you, Guy. And a special shout out to Las Vegas and Jackie Brown. What's the weather like out there, Jackie? Shout out to Jennifer Rigdon Cash and Sharon Goff Wilson. Shout out over here to Housebroker One and All Dreaming and my D3 over here on Instagram. So let's get some waves going here. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Happy to see you here on a Monday night. So here in Lexington, it is depressingly dreary, rainy. It only sunshine for a little bit today, and we've had this weather for a couple weeks now. We need the sun to come out and it to get hot and kill this virus so that we can all get out of the house. Period. The end. Okay. Now on to our topic of remote viewing. And so remember, you can use this technique for lost items, to remote lost or stolen items. So it's really good for finding things like that. Shout out to Jen Sabo. Good to see you. So remote viewing is the practice of seeking impressions about a distant or unseen location or target using ESP or extrasensory perception. And typically the remote viewer is expected to give information about the object, event, person, or location. And this event, person, location, or object is hidden from sight, usually. So this premise, it really works the best, or can be understood the best, based on quantum entanglement. And if you've ever studied quantum physics, things are by nature entangled or associated very intimately, and we're all part of a field of energy that is moving on the same level. And it's thought that if we can adjust our consciousness to that quantum field, then we can become aware of that quantum field and all of the things that exist within it. So the history of remote viewing is basically started in 1975, and it was sponsored by the U.S. government and the CIA in an attempt to determine any potential military application of psychic phenomena. So in the 70s, there were two people that started the program. It was Russell Targ and Harold Puthoff. And they went to work for the Stanford Research Institute in the Electronics and Bioengineering Laboratory. And these two guys put together the first program for remote viewing. Fortunately, they're both still with us today, and they tour around and give talks about the early times in the program and some of the fascinating results that they had with beginning this remote viewing and going out and testing it. So, hey, Rob, good to see you. This is a really good topic for tonight. And it's the reason I presented it is because I've had a couple of requests for finding lost objects, and this is such a good technique for that. And I thought, well, that's something that we need to talk about, because if you train yourself to do it, you won't have to ask somebody to do this for you. You could do this for yourself and maybe find a lot of the objects that you've lost on your own, which would be phenomenal for people that, maybe have lost or had money stolen. That's a good reason to do it. Gosh. All right. These little beasties are flying around me and driving me crazy. And we'll go over a basic technique too. So Russell Targ was one of the guys that started the program in 1975. He originally was a laser physicist and working for the Stanford Research Institute, but he'd always had a fascination and an interest in psychic phenomena. And this was like his dream come true when he found out that they were going to start this program to research psychic ability. So he got in on it with Hal Puthoff, and they developed this program of remote viewing and tested psychics from different areas to see the accuracy and application of the technique. So what is remote viewing actually? What it is sensing with the mind. First, you're connecting with the quantum field, and then you're using your sensing capability to uncover this object, event, place, or person. So the first thing that you want to do, let's go over a couple things before we jump into the techniques. And if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and ask me. So Ricky wants to know, wasn't this a CIA and military funded program in the 70s and 80s? Yes, it was. It was totally funded by the CIA and the military from 1975 until 1995. And then suddenly they pulled the plug in 95, saying that the program failed to produce any useful intelligence information. Well, 20 years is a long time to figure that out, right? So, and here's another interesting twist to the whole story is one of the top psychics that was in the program, his name was Pat Price, was so very accurate that he mysteriously died, okay? He mysteriously died, was taken to the hospital, cremated, and body and remains disposed of before they even notified his wife. Bang. So I'm going to leave it there because I think that there's more to this that the military and the CIA don't want you to know. Like maybe it's so accurate that they don't want people to know that they can have you remote viewed and uncover things. I mean, it's helpful if no one knows it really works. And if you remain of the consensus that this is poppycock and it doesn't work, that works to their benefit. So, hey, to tell you more. So Ricky says, I remember hearing they attempted remote viewing for Scud missiles in Iraq. Interesting, Ricky, because there's a video on Prime, and it's actually featuring Russell Targ. And at the beginning of the video of the movie, the voiceover is Jimmy Carter, and he is talking about working with the psychic. During his presidency, there was a downed jet, and they worked with a psychic to uncover the longitude and the latitude of the jet where it went down, and it was exactly where the lady said it would be. Hey to Jill Jones, awesome to see you. So I think the applications have kind of been covered up because it's to their advantage that we don't know how accurate it was. So thank goodness for Hal Puthoff and Russell Targ are still alive today to tell us all about these things. Now, if you want to watch the movie, the movie is fabulous. It's called Third Eye Spies, and it is on Amazon Prime. You may have to pay for it. I don't think it's on Prime, but it's on Amazon Video. So Gavin says, I've just completed a course and learned how to remote view. Awesome. Now, Gavin, you just have to get somebody to work with to test your ability, and don't be upset if you don't get it right a couple of times, because I found it really takes testing yourself to know what's truly information and what is an imagination. There's a different texture, a different quality to the signal of the information that you're getting when it's an actual impression from the quantum field. And it takes a while to really learn the difference between the imagination and the texture of that real impression. Hey to Moon Mist. Awesome to see you guys over here, and Big Swami. So a lot of interesting things happened in the program, and you can learn more about it by watching that movie on Amazon, Third Eye Spies. Now, Russell Targ has authored several books about the topic. One of the best ones that he's written is on Amazon, and it is called Limitless Mind. And Limitless Mind is also on Audible. And that's a great thing to listen to in the morning while you're getting ready. I listen to that. And it is an awesome, phenomenal book to read or listen to in the morning when you're getting ready for work. So in 1995, that's when the U.S. government pulled the plug on the program. But in 1995, the CIA hired the American Institutes for Research to perform a retrospective evaluation of the results generated by the Stargate project. The reviewers maintained that there had been a statistically significant positive effect, with some of the subjects, Pat Price included, scoring 15 to 50% above chance. And so the conclusion from that is that ESP is proven to exist. But do you hear about it? Nope. Because I don't think they really want you to know that they can spy on you this way. So some other studies that I found, and this was on basis of reaction from the human body, and it's really kind of more proof about quantum entanglement, was that there were a lot of studies that were presenting a person with, like, their biological systems were hooked up to monitoring equipment, and they would do a shock to the person, but not consistently. And it was found that there was a 3-second temporal span on the reactions. And what that means is that the person psychically sensed that the shock was coming 3 seconds before it actually was delivered. So I thought that was pretty cool too. So in the quantum field, your subconscious picks up things that haven't reached you yet, which is very cool. So Jen says she used to use this to locate state troopers. That is awesome. Hey to Helen Drinkwater and Judy Burkett Roberts. Pat Price, yes, Patricia, you need to look up Pat Price or get that show on Amazon because they talk a lot about Pat Price in Third Eye Spies. Yep. So it's very interesting that he was disposed of before they even notified the next of kin. So something was behind that, I feel. Pretty blatant. So let's go over a small technique to do quantum. I call it quantum viewing, remote viewing. It's remote viewing because you're not at the location. And actually, I just had a session today on a video call to do some remote viewing of a lost item. And that's one of the funnest sessions for me to do because I have no idea where the objects are or what happened to them. And it's sort of like putting a puzzle together, which is really cool for me. So how do we do remote viewing? What you want to do is you want to connect your subconscious to the quantum field. Now, in order to live life and to task orient things and be aware of your surroundings and not get hurt, you've got to be focused in your daily life. Well, but the problem is that brainwave is too fast to pick up information from the subconscious quantum field. So you really have to learn how to do meditation extremely efficiently to bring the brain waves down to the level where you can pick up subconscious information, because your subconscious is connected to the quantum field. Then you've got to figure out what's your imagination or your emotions and what are true impressions from the quantum field that is information that's coming to you. And that's where practice and testing yourself becomes valuable, because the information from the quantum field has a different texture to it. It does not feel like your thought or your it doesn't feel like anything that's associated with you, and the texture will feel strange, like it's coming from a different source. And just practice and testing yourself is the best way to figure out the difference in these textures. So the first thing that you have to do is to it helps if you isolate yourself and go into meditation and calm the brain waves down and slow those brain waves down, reducing the brain waves to at least an alpha or even a theta wave state. Of course, the deeper the meditation, the better the reception is going to be. And some people use the technique of imagining a movie screen or even a TV screen in front of you in the mind. And when you imagine the screen, whatever your target is going to come up on the screen, or it can be things that are associated with that target. So let's say the target is lost jewelry, or let's say the target's lost keys. I had a friend of mine call me up the other day, and she had lost her keys, and I had to remote view where they were. So on my TV screen, what came up, what she did was she described the keys to me in the last place that she had them. Okay, so what that does is that creates the energy of the target for me. And I kind of explain it as it gives me a phone number to dial. When somebody describes the target, that's the phone number that you energetically dial to get the signal line. I call it a signal line. And the signal line is the energy of the object or the actual phone call. So how much that the person describes the object or describes something associated with the object, it gives you either a weaker or a stronger signal. Like if the car keys were pretty simple And so it was kind of a weak signal for me, but all I could see was the folds of a leather chair or couch or car seat where the keys had fallen way down and just were folded up and squished in the folds of either leather or vinyl. So that could have been a couch, a recliner, a chair, or a car seat, down behind the car in the seat. And the thing was, she told me that she had looked in the couch. So at that point, your conscious mind kind of wants to change the image. But I was like, no, that's exact. I see them there. Go back and look again, look deeper in the couch, which she did, and they were there. So if that image really comes to you strongly, stay with it, because there may be other things that you can remote view in association with it that give you further information on where it is or what is going on, or the person needs to go and look a little bit more thoroughly in that location. Shout out to Sandra Lee Small. Good to see you. And shout out over here on Instagram to Big Swami Mix and Fiorin Woods. Good to see you guys. Okay, so as soon as you visualize your TV screen or your movie screen and you start to see images come up, you can further the information by expanding on it and feeling the following things. Is it outside or inside? Is it hot or cold? Is it light or dark around the object? Is the object alive or is it an inanimate object? So there's lots of things that you can pull from doing this. So, and if you don't get a specific object at first, then you can start with those things of, is it hot or cold? Is it inside or outside? Is it alive or inanimate? Is it light or dark? And then you may start to see shapes or colors that come out of that. So it's always helpful to have a pad of paper and a pencil to the side where you can write down your notes on some of the things that you're getting, because that sort of builds stronger on the signal line of reception. And you may also want to sketch something on your pad of paper, and the sketch may match what is at the location, or it may match the object itself. So Rob says that's exactly how I describe dialing into readings, asking for specific questions versus general readings. Yes, absolutely, Rob. You're 100% right. So that's just a little handy way to get started with remote viewing. And I may do a seminar on it later in the future if you guys are interested in like a 1, 2, 3, 4 technique kind of thing. Now, here's where we go into how can we augment this with crystals or gemstones? And really, any kind of channeling crystal, anything that's like a quartz crystal that's used for channeling, will really amplify the information that you get from the quantum field for your remote viewing. Now, today I did not use a channeling crystal, but the information came really quickly because I had done a theta wave meditation before I video called the lady for her session. So any kind of channeling crystal, and certainly Crystal Crazy does have channeling, lots of channeling crystals. They will work with you on exactly what you need. There's the phone number on the screen. And if Barbara sees this later, and I may tag her on a comment or something, but maybe she can put in the comments for the show just an example of some of the things that she has at the shop right now that would really help with channeling. Thank you, Rob. That's awesome. So let me check to see if there are any more questions, which I don't see. So yeah, let me go over these references one more time in case you're late to the show. We're talking about remote viewing and some of the stuff that Russell Targ got into in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s. This program went on for 20 years. If you can, get the show on Prime, Amazon for Third Eye Spies. It's a great movie to watch. And it tells all about the program and some of the things that have been hidden from you. He also has a book called The Limitless Mind on Amazon that is an extremely good read. If you don't want to read it or you have trouble seeing, get it on Audible and listen to the book and see what you think. Now, some of it can get a little deep because, like at the beginning of the book, we go into morphogenic fields and stuff. So if you're not familiar with quantum physics and morphogenesis and things like that, it could get a little deep for you, but just skip to the next chapter and keep listening. Anyway, if you guys have any late questions, just let me know. Again, go ahead and push the share button on your screen and share this out in your newsfeed for your friends and family, because there's some good information here, and it can really help you find lost items. And we all lose stuff, so it's a good technique to learn to find your things, or even if you have something stolen, it's you can find out what happened to it, because half of the anxiety of having your stuff stolen is you don't know what happened to it or who got it. So go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, follow the Facebook page, and give us a like on Facebook and on YouTube. Very much appreciate it. Oh, and I was asking you, Barbara Bacon, if you could put in the comments, please, what kind of channeling crystals that you have that would be great for this technique to augment it, and what you have in the shop maybe right now that somebody could use to increase their remote viewing abilities. Much love to you guys. Thanks for joining me every Monday night. It's always good to see you guys. Kisses from Kentucky, and I will see you next Monday night. And here is some contact information for you. Later.